Adventure Tourer is a rather special breed of motorcycle. What sets them apart from the rest of the bunch is their ability to take on uncharted territories. They become a rider's best friend when the tarmac ends and adventure begins. They let us devour breathtaking landscapes that this beautiful country has to offer, and that explains their raging popularity in our country. Today, we have one such motorcycle that aspires to be an adventure tourer. But is it one really? Hello and welcome to Motoroids. This is Anand Pandey, and today we are on a date with the Honda CB200X. Now, if you haven't been living under the proverbial rock, you might know that the CB200X that we have today with us is based on the Hornet 2.0 Naked Street Fighter. Before getting down with the technicalities and how it performs out on the road, it is very essential to know that what it really is and what thought process has Honda invested in developing this product. As Honda likes to call it, it is an urban explorer. Now, it is not developed to go all trail bashing on the weekends or to do hardcore off-roading. It doesn't have any noteworthy off-road credentials like the Hero Xpulse 200 for instance. What it aspires to be, what it aims to be is be a tourer based on the Hornet 2.0 that is more comfortable and rugged as compared to its naked counterpart. Now, to justify the 13,000 rupees that it commands over the Hornet, Honda has introduced quite a few changes. Like starting from the front, although it retains the same LED headlamp setup, it gets a different housing. It also gains a tall and tinted windscreen to deflect the wind blast. It also retains the same wheel size with the Hornet, which are 17-inch units at both the ends. It might have retained the same wheel size, but the compound is different. In the Hornet, you get to see a soft compound tire that is more road oriented, and in the CB200X, you get to see MRF curved tires, which is 110 section unit at the front and 140 section unit at the back. It also gets the same golden UHD forks that is one of the major highlights of the Hornet 2.0. Now, that is a bit disappointing from Honda's part that they haven't tuned the suspension to suit the characteristics of the CB200X. It comes with the same stiff tune, and now it doesn't get longer travel either. The CB200X is based on Hornet 2.0's platform, and that is the reason why it shares many cycle parts with the Hornet 2.0, including the braking department. Now, the front brake is the same unit as we have seen on the Hornet 2.0, that is a 276mm pedal disc at the front, and at the rear you get to see a 220mm disc brake that is also a pedal unit. Now, despite asking for a premium amount over the Hornet, it gets a single channel ABS and not dual channel. If you own a naked Street Fighter and you want to convert it into an adventure tourer by yourself, one of the most popular modifications available out there are these knuckle guards with integrated turn indicators. Now, it is a very good thing that Honda is offering these knuckle guards with these seamlessly integrated LED indicators as a factory fitment with the CB200X. Coming over to the side panels now, it also gains these 4 radiator shrouds that makes it look a lot beefier as compared to the Hornet. It also adds to its overall visual appeal. The overall design philosophy that you get to see here is inspired by the CB500X, which is one of the most likable motorcycles in Honda's portfolio, apart from its price tag, of course. So yes, it does retain some of the similarities with the CB500X, and it does look like its younger sibling. The black color that you see here might seem a bit understated as compared to the red color offered with the CB200X, but you get these cool looking stickers here and the 200X detailing here. Talking about the fuel tank here, Honda has also retained the same fuel tank with 12 liters of storage, and I really wish that they increase the fuel tank capacity by a few liters to aid its touring capabilities, but sadly it retains the same fuel tank. What you get here is this key slot is neatly placed in the center of the fuel tank, so it does provide a big bike feel to the CB200X. The fuel lid that you get here is hinged just like all the other motorcycles that we get to see in this particular segment. Honda especially worked upon the seats here, which are slightly wider as compared to the Hornet, and talking from my experience, you aren't going to feel uncomfortable over the seat even if you take those long highway jaunts that this particular motorcycle is majorly developed for. Honda has provided some extra cushioning to the seat as well. As you can see, it is slightly more comfortable as compared to the Hornet. Now, the pillion seat too should be comfortable for your pillion over long distance as well. What aids to the pillion comfort are these neatly placed grab rails, and they also add to the overall visual drama because they are very sharp looking. Honda has also tweaked the rider ergonomics, and to aid to its touring capabilities, they have introduced a wider and taller handlebar that is more inclined towards the rider, so you sit more upright as compared to the Hornet. The footpeg position too is slightly more centralized, and it is a bit more forward set as compared to the rear set units that we have experienced on the Hornet. So you sit very upright as compared to the Hornet, and that is one of the most defining factors of the CB200X that sets it apart from its naked counterpart. Another new addition that you get to see in the CB200X is, what do you want to call it? Is it an engine cowl or is it a bash plate? I really want to test its sturdiness, but that could be the last time that you see me on Motoroids, and I really don't want that. Coming over to the rear end now, it will definitely remind you of the Hornet because there aren't many changes that set it apart from the Hornet. The exhaust unit is the same, the X-shaped LED tail light that you get here is the same, and also the LED turn indicators have been retained from the Hornet. The only difference that you can notice if you see it from the rear are these 140 section dual purpose tires. Like I mentioned before, these are MRF curve, and these are not road bias, these are dual purpose tires that sort of helps the CB200X deal with this kind of terrain. The quality of the foot pegs is nice, but it would have been a lot better if Honda offered the off-road focused foot pegs that we get to see on off-road focused motorcycles, but sadly they are not included in this overall package. The monoshock too has been carried over from the Hornet. Another department where Honda could have done a little better is the switchgear quality. Although it is nice, but being a premium offering from Honda, we expected better quality from the Japanese manufacturer. The tactile feedback from the switchgear is nice, and you know what's happening with the switchgear. You also get to see a hazard switch apart from the regular stuff that we have already seen on the Hornet. The low high beam toggle switch is placed here. It also gets a pass light, and the instrument cluster is also carried over from the Hornet, and it is a negative LCD cluster which shows a ton of information like the tachometer, the speedometer, the fuel gauge. There's a clock as well. There are 2 trip meters and a battery voltage meter as well. Talking about the telltale lights, you get a check engine light here, neutral, ABS, and a high beam readout here. You also get a gear shift indicator here. One of the most likable things about the CB200X is the big bike feel that it provides the rider with, because if you see the cockpit view, you get this windscreen and these knuckle guards, so you really get that feel that you are riding a big bike, despite the fact that it only gets a 184cc engine powering the affair. The mirrors too could have been a little better because they hamper with the visibility, and you don't always see the vehicles coming from behind, and that is one of the things that Honda should have changed in the CB200X, because it is being positioned as a tourer, and being a tourer motorcycle, we really expect everything that is going on behind us. All the new additions that you see on the CB200X have also resulted in added weight. While the Hornet 2.0 tips the scale at around 142 kilograms, the CB200X weighs around 147 kilograms, making it around 5 kilograms heavier than the Hornet 2.0.
Coming over to the overall riding experience now, the CB200X is powered by the same 184cc single-cylinder air-cooled engine that puts down 17.3 HP and 16.1 Newton meters of torque. This engine is married to a 5-speed gearbox. The engine is quite tractable and pulls cleanly from a standstill. Honda's signature refinement makes its presence felt instantly as you ring the throttle wide open. In the first gear, the CB200X can do 39 km an hour. Redlining in the second gear will see you clocking 66 km an hour on the speedo, while in the third gear, it can do around 88 km an hour. We couldn't redline it in the fourth and fifth gear because of the torrential downpour. Comparing the bike with the Hornet 2.0, based on our earlier tests, it seems that the CB200X has the same gearing, so apparently no changes made there. The powertrain picks up speed in the same manner as I'm losing my hair, in a rather gradual and linear way. It can comfortably cruise at around 95 km an hour all day long, with the engine puttering at around 6500 rpm in the fifth gear. Engine's tractability is worth mentioning here, as it can putter around town at speed as low as 27 km an hour in the fifth gear. The 5-speed gearbox is a bit clunky in nature, and there were a few instances where false neutrals made their presence felt. The overall performance on tap is enough to keep a new rider entertained, while more experienced riders will demand more oomph from the powertrain. The CB200X is very agile in nature as it borrows the same underpinnings from the Hornet 2.0. You would really enjoy flicking it in urban riding conditions because of its commanding riding position and agility. It gets the same USD forks up front and same monoshock setup at the back. It would have been really great if Honda tweaked the suspension setup to reflect the characteristics of the CB200X. Because although it is flickable, it has a rather stiff suspension and stiff ride quality. It crashes over bumps and sends the impact back to the rider, which it shouldn't. Helming the bike is comparatively easier as compared to other adventure tourers out there because it retains the same ride height as the Hornet, which is set at 810 mm. The upright riding posture really shines as it can undertake long highway jaunts without tiring the rider. It could have also done away with more ground clearance because it is the same as the Hornet at 167 mm. Heck, even the new classic 350 gets more ground clearance than this. Braking was adequate for the amount of performance it has on offer. The front brake caliper bites on a 276 mm disc at the front, while the rear gets a 220 mm disc. The feedback from the front brake lever was adequate, but it could have done away with better bite. The CB200X can be had in three colors: Pearl Night Star Black, Matte Celine Silver Metallic, and Sports Red. According to us, the Sports Red shade looks the best of the lot. There are a couple of things that could have made the CB200X a better overall package, like long travel suspension at both the ends, more ground clearance, and a bigger fuel tank. The switchgears quality too could have been a little better because it does have a premium price tag. The bash plate or whatever that is rather flimsy too.
The exhaust note of the CB200X is very much similar to the Hornet because obviously the engine is the same. So let's just hear it. So when Honda first unveiled the CB200X to the general public, it caused a bit of an outrage that why doesn't it have a longer travel suspension or more ground clearance. But that leaves the door open for Honda to launch another motorcycle based on the same platform, something like the CRF 190L that Honda recently unveiled in our beloved neighboring country, China. Talking about the CB200X now, Honda has aimed to create a new segment altogether with the CB200X. And with whatever we have experienced today, they have succeeded at it because it does a few things better than the Hornet. For example, you are more comfortable on the saddle because of the more upright position, and not to forget, it just looks bonkers. If I had to conclude, if I had to differentiate between Hornet styling and CB200X's styling, the Hornet is like a ripped MMA fighter. And the CB200X that you see here, it looks more like a welterweight boxer. It has a commanding riding position, it has a great road presence. So if you are on the lookout for a motorcycle that you need for your daily commute and you want that motorcycle to look good, have a great road presence, and even if you want to take it out on long weekend rides, the CB200X can make sense for you. But if you are looking for a true blue off-roader, the CB200X doesn't fit the bill. The CB200X is priced at around rupees 1.44 lakh ex-showroom, and that makes it a bit costlier than the Hornet. But then again, there are quite a few additions that sort of justify the premium price tag it is asking for. So folks, that's it from our end. It's a wrap.
If you found value in this video, hit the like button, subscribe to Motoroids and press that bell icon. Do share this video with your friends and always put Motoroids in your searches if you like our long format content. Until next time, this is Anand signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and ride safe.